Alright my friends, and finally welcome back to the channel and a brand new episode of Hyland Zoo. Last episode is linked above for you my friends if you haven't yet watched that. I would imagine you have though. It was 3 weeks ago that we did that build. I have started another series to coincide with this one on the channel, and I did mention in that I was going to get a video out for Hyland Zoo, and yeah, I've finally done it. But if you haven't yet seen that series, it's going to be a brand new little project that we're going to be working on. It's very, very unique. I will link the introduction to that series above now, my friends. I would really implore you all to go and check it out and really get involved. It's going to be a interactive build where you guys are basically going to be making all of the decisions, and yours truly is going to be the master builder and making it happen. There are rules been put in place. It's a very unique project. I don't think anyone else is doing anything like it. So yeah, do go and check the brand new series out, my friends. But like I've already said, we are back here in Hyland Zoo, and we are finally getting down to a brand new build. And I've basically completely lost track of where we were because I took such a big break from the series, and I do cover where I've been as well in the first video for that brand new series. So even if you don't want to go and watch the video for the new series, just check out maybe the first 5 minutes. It lets you know everything that's been happening, ladies and gents. You know, I do apologise for not having uploaded as regularly as I was, but you know, with everything that's going on, I've had to just put some other stuff first, so I'm sure you all understand. But yeah, like I was saying, back to the matter at hand, I completely lost track of where I was because it's been 3 weeks since we've uploaded an episode of Hyland Zoo, and I jumped in and I was like, Jesus, I don't know where to start. I don't know what I was going to do next, and I had no inspiration other than the build that I've done today. And we finally get the lions in the zoo, ladies and gents, in the sort of African area. We are using obviously the viewing area where the for the cafe, the Maasai cafe, and we're going to make like a secondary viewing platform, so to speak, so that people can take a look at the lions. So as you can see right now in the speed build section, we are making the hard shelter first. This is obviously where the lions are going to sleep, and I'm trying to keep it as realistic as possible, but space is sort of a premium, unfortunately, where this was concerned. I was going to put this elsewhere, but it really didn't work with the zoo and what I want to do going forward, so I decided to put it here instead. There's sort of a backlot area here anyway, for the aardvarks, and there's sort of like a staff center and stuff, so it actually made a lot of sense to put this where we've actually put it. And I think it looks really nice and works really well with the environment when all is said and done, ladies and gents. At the beginning, this kind of looked very underkill when you look at the size of the aardvark house, but remember, the aardvark house was an old building that we converted into that. It actually has very low ceilings. It just has a big sort of roofed area. So this is actually a very big sort of area, and hard shelter for the lions. And yeah, we sort of go with almost like a big sort of Pride Rock enclosure type thing. It isn't obviously a replica of Pride Rock, but there is a big mound in the middle, and there's a big secondary mound near where the secondary sort of viewing area is. And so yeah, it's very rock heavy. We have 3 lions initially. I'm sure that will grow. I'm hoping that the amount of hard shelter space we've got is going to be enough going forward. If it's not though, we do build a secondary building next to this one that I didn't do the insides of. The doors are shut basically to it, but it's there in case we need it. My thinking behind it was that would be like a quarantine building should any of the lions ever get sick or need to be separated in case there was a fight or something along those lines. A lion got injured, etc. It could go in there and be separated from the main sort of Pride Alliance, essentially. So yes, that was my thinking behind it. But yeah, that is what we're doing. That's what you get to watch, ladies and gents, and it's good to be back. I'm glad to be back making some more Planet Zoo you know, content. I'm glad to be back in Hyland Zoo. You know, the series was never going anywhere, even with the new series starting. But yeah, I'm just glad that I am back. I do want to address a couple of things though why I'm here. In the last episode of Hyland Zoo, I kind of teased that I was going to be getting involved in sort of like a collaboration project. Unfortunately, I've had to pull out of that collaboration project. Nothing against the people that were doing it, I just cannot physically find the time to fit that in my schedule. I think it's going to be quite full on, but it is going to be amazing, and I really implore any of you that are interested in that sort of thing to go and check it out. I think they just released their sort of feature trailer. It's going to be Serenity Zoo, and I haven't got the names of all the creators right now. I know Try to Thrive, I think, is one of them. Yeah, there's I think it's 4 people are involved. I will find out exactly who it is, and I will link it all in the description in the next episode, ladies and gents. They've kind of left the door open for me, which is really cool, but at the same time, I don't think I'd want to join a project halfway through with all of the work that they've done. You know, like, I've seen some of the stuff they've been making. It is unreal. I think it's going to be an amazing project, and I'm going to be pushing that project you know, on this channel, so you guys can go and watch it and see it and stuff, because I just think it's going to be amazing. It's nice to see a bunch of smaller, you know, guys in the community all get together to do a community project, and you know, it was really nice to be asked. Unfortunately, I just can't find the time, but maybe in future I'll be able to do a collab project with them on something different, because a collab project is something I would love to do later down the line. You know, I look at what the guys are doing with Koali Zoo, and obviously what these new bunch of guys are going to be doing with Serenity Zoo. It's unbelievable when all of your minds all come together. You've all got your own build styles, you've all got your own thing you want to do, and yeah, they're making it work, and it's going to be amazing. So yeah, unfortunately I've had to pull out of that, which, you know, isn't ideal, but I've just got too much going on, basically, and I've got, you know, 2 series of my own. I've got my other channel, which is pretty much Football Manager now, because the football season's kind of obviously done and dusted to some extent because of this coronavirus scare. So yeah, I've just been basically just creating a lot of content for myself. It's kind of how it's been. Obviously we've got baby on the way. I have to put my wife and my, you know, soon to be newborn child first as well. So yeah, just haven't been able to find the time for stuff like that, basically, ladies and gents. And that's really the nuts and bolts and the long and short of everything that's been going on, really, because we're all sort of stuck indoors, not able to do much, are we? But where Hyland Zoo is concerned, I really want to ask you a few questions, you know, like about the zoo. You know, where do you see the zoo going, you know, from here? You know, we obviously Africa, we've got a few animals we want to put in. We've already sort of planned for the Indian elephants. I have started planning for the chimpanzees. I'm going to show you the majority of the planning that I've done in the live section of today's episode. There's going to be no cam. I'm just going to do voiceover for today. I didn't charge my camera up, and yeah, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You don't need to see my ugly mug on the screen anyway. But I'm going to go over all of that. But where do you kind of see the zoo going? What kind of, you know, what would you like added to the zoo? You know, obviously I ask this every single time, but it's always good, you know, to gauge your sort of opinion. It's always good to gauge what you would like to see in the zoo, and where you see it going as well. You know, do you think that this zoo is close to being finished? Would you like me to start a new Sandbox zoo, or are you happy with Hyland Zoo to continue the way it has been? You know, growing organically, getting there slowly but surely, and stuff like that. I really appreciate your opinions. I love your comments. You know, I always take them on board, and you know, put them into best practice basically a lot of the time. So yeah, I would really like to get your opinion on, you know, kind of what you see, you know, best fits Hyland Zoo, basically. Do we continue? Do we do a massive zoo, or are we looking at maybe just another few animals and really finishing this off? I'm going to give you my opinion on kind of where I see Hyland Zoo going when we get to the live section. It's easier to be able to show you when we're actually, you know, in the zoo. And I can point out the areas that I think need work. The one thing I will say is that when I jumped back into the zoo for the first time in 3 weeks, I realised that there is so many little jobs that need to be done in this zoo. It's all well and good jumping in and building new enclosures, but I have got so many little jobs that need doing. I've got backlot areas that need finishing. I've got I've got like planting to do, rock work to do. There's just so many little things that really bring a zoo to life that needs sorting out, and I just haven't had a chance to get around to doing them. And it's a bit of a nightmare because they're the jobs that take the time, believe it or not. An enclosure, once you get into a groove, you can bang out an enclosure in sort of 3 or 4 hours, but those little jobs, you can honestly sit here for a good day just gradually, grinding through, putting some plants in, putting some rocks in, fencing off an area. You're going to see in the live section that I actually run out of time a little bit where the lion area is concerned. Not the inside the enclosure, that's all done, but just on the outside I haven't managed to get it finished, and it's just because I run out of time. Because time is a thing, I can't just sit and play the game for 10 hours straight. Even if I wanted to, I just can't do it. It just it just would get too much for me. I'd end up just losing my way of thinking, kind of thing. I don't think I could concentrate for that long playing one game. It just gets a bit much, especially when you're doing those small little nitty gritty jobs, because they're not exciting. They're really, really not exciting. They are boring jobs to have to do, but they have to be done to make sure that the zoo is looking amazing. It looks lush. The environment matches what you're trying to achieve with the zoo and stuff. So it's just so much to do, so much to do. But I'm really, when we get to the low section, all will become a little bit clearer about what I'm saying, and I'll be able to explain a bit more, ladies and gentlemen. But I don't really actually have a lot to talk about today, and I feel like I'm just kind of going to be waffling for the sake of waffling. The one thing I am going to talk about though, because I'm really excited about it, really interested about it. Obviously, we've got a free update that's going to be hitting the game very, very soon. And if you haven't seen it yet, do go and check out sort of what's going to be available in that free update, because there's going to be some free pieces that are going to be available, which are amazing. Some nice like glass pieces, some bamboo. But also, it's the updates to the game that I found most interesting. They're going to really make franchise in particular. Not that we've done a franchise mode on this channel yet, but they're going to make franchise mode. They're going to be really important to that. So do go and check them out if you're an avid player of the game and an avid player of franchise mode, because the free update's going to be amazing. And as on top of the free update, I've also announced that the next DLC is going to be released, I believe, on the 7th of April, which is absolutely amazing. We're going to get a South American DLC. Absolutely love that. We're finally going to get another big cat as well. We're going to get a jaguar. I think that's an animal that people have been asking for. A lot of people were asking for that animal, and from the images, it looks amazing. We're also going to get a capuchin, the giant anteater. We're getting a Amazon tree frog, I believe, and there was one more, a llama. And I really like the llama. Of all of them, the llama was my favourite. I don't know why. That it might sound weird to some of you, but I think a llama is really, really integral if you are going to do a petting zoo. I really do. I think that, if you go to any zoo, you always find the llamas in or around the petting zoo. So I think that brings a little bit of realism to that. Like the thing with the petting zoo is that you can sort of get around it. There are some animals in the game that you could use, like the reindeer, for instance, they can be used there. The sheep can be used there, and now the llama, it really starts to pack it out. And if you want as well, you could always put one of the tortoise varieties in your petting zoo. There's ways around it, and I actually think a petting zoo is something that could be very achievable once that new DLC, hits the game. I'm definitely going to be purchasing it. A lot of people seem to think that it's a bit steep to be expecting, the money for that DLC, considering you're only getting 5 animals. But what a lot of people are missing is you're getting about 250 new pieces and some new themes. You have to understand that from a developer's standpoint, it takes a long time to create all the pieces, and then on top of that, to make 3D models that interact. It takes a long time. So I don't think it is steep to expect that sort of money just for 5 animals, because you are getting more than 5 animals. You're getting some themed pieces, and you're getting animals that are going to interact with your zoo and interact with the world differently. Once again, I'm really interested to see how the jaguars are actually going to work. They're a very solitary animal, live in the undergrowth, in the jungles and stuff, and they climb. Are they going to climb trees? That's going to be really interesting. The capuchin as well. That's a really interesting one because it's a smaller monkey. And I actually think that now people can start thinking about achieving, those indoor sort of tropical rainforest type areas, like London Zoo. I always use a London Zoo as an example because it's the one I probably go to the most. Even though I've not been there in a while, but they've got an amazing indoor, and it's split between a sort of like a dark area, so it's all nocturnal animals at the bottom, and then at the top it's this a dense, lush sort of like rainforest walk-through area. It's got loads of small monkeys. It's got sloths. It's got some birds and stuff in there. It's just absolutely amazing. On the subject of that, though, I think they missed a trick still. I think that the DLC is amazing. I actually think the choices they've made are very, very good, but I still think they missed a trick in not providing us with birds. We need some small birds in the game because they are really, really good space fillers, the birds. If you go to any zoo, when you're walking around, you'll get birds scattered around in all different places, and they just fill up gaps really, really nicely. And I think they missed a trick not giving us some birds. They could have given us some amazing birds as well with the South American area. You have to look at the amount of bird species there are, from the Amazon that have made their way into zoos. They really, really have missed a trick there. But I'm hoping that in the future we will get a birds pack. And another thing I'm really hoping for in the future as well is a nocturnal pack. I think that nocturnal animals added to the game would be an amazing addition. I would love to see some bats and stuff like that. I really would. And some like slow loris and things like smaller animals, so you could pack out a dark house. I see Rudy make a dark house recently in one of his builds, and it's amazing. And he put the aardvark and the pangolin in there because they are notoriously sort of like nocturnal animals, and I thought it was an amazing idea. But imagine if we had more animals that kind of fit that, smaller, that could go in a building like that. I think it would be absolutely amazing. So yeah, I'm sure we're going to get more down the line. I do like the fact that Frontier released this as well during a time of trouble. It wasn't put off. They've released this DLC when everybody seems to probably be at home playing the game because you're probably on lockdown wherever you're from at the minute. So yeah, it is amazing, and it's going to be a great addition in my opinion, and it'll be an amazing addition to Hyland Zoo, but especially it's going to be an amazing addition to the brand new series that he's going to be starting. And I'm going to be holding off on that series until the new DLC comes out, because I'm going to be really interested to see what pieces we get more than anything, because the pieces are what bring the buildings to life. And I've managed to use a lot of the pieces in the game to this point, but it'd be nice to see if there were some more that I could really make the most of, in the zoo, and really, add in some more detail to things, basically. So yeah, really happy with the DLC. Let me know what your thoughts are on the next DLC to come out, ladies and gents. I'd be really interested to get your opinion on it, whether or not you like it or dislike it, and just continue as well to keep getting your little comments in about stuff you would like to see in the future, because this game is going to continue to evolve. It really, really is, a bit like Planet Coaster did. I've actually been thinking about playing Planet Coaster again recently. I noticed that the Planko sort of community seems to have made a bit of a comeback. I've noticed that what's his name, Mars Bandit, he's been doing a bit more Planet Coaster recently, which was really interesting to see. I see that Rudy actually did a Planet Coaster build as well. So yeah, it's nice to see the Planko sort of is making a bit of a comeback as well. And who knows, if I have time, I might even do a bit of Planko on the channel. I might do like a really small sort of low budget build, something along those lines. Might be a bit interesting, but as on the speed build, this is a really, really interesting bit. You're going to see that's a scratching post. This is the idea that I mentioned ages ago about putting the scratching post right in where the glass is, and then putting like a canopy over the top, and then the guests will really get to see the cats using the scratch post, but also it's going to be a nice shaded area that they might come and lay down, so people would get a really, really good view of them. So yeah, Take all this in, ladies and gents. Let me know what you think. I had to change all of that fascia, though, by the way. I think I did a good job in making it match up, but it was all made out of wood, and the bloody lions can climb up the wood, so I had to change all that. But anyway, my friends, I think I'm going to be done and dusted here for my talking. I will be back very, very shortly for the live section of today's episode, where we're going to talk over a bunch of other stuff, like I've already mentioned. So enjoy the rest of this speed build section of the video, and I'll chat to you real soon. And so here we are, ladies and gents, our brand new lion enclosure. This enclosure needs a name. I would really like this to have like a unique name, a bit like we've got the gorilla sort of kingdom. I would really like this to have a unique name. So suggestions in the comment section below would be amazing, ladies and gentlemen. I am just going to pause this while we navigate, because obviously we don't want stuff popping off while I show you this stuff. But yeah, let's just take this in all of its glory, shall we? I am just going to change the time of day. We're going to go more sort of there we go. That's a bit better lighting on point. But yeah, this is it, ladies and gents. This is it, all finished. Obviously, I've started doing some of the sort of foliage work on the outskirts, just to try and disguise stuff, and I'll show you sort of what that's looking like when we get to it. But this building here, I just need to bring this up while we are in the live section. This building here is a pain in the this roof, because it's custom made and some of these pieces sort of like merge with each other and they clash, it's a little bit jumpy because there's 600 odd pieces here. And what you'll find is when you lay pieces over the top of each other, they clash and they can conflict and they can really sort of slow things down. Now, obviously, I've got a very good PC. The zoo runs fine, but this building, when you try and build near it, Jesus Christ, does it cause some problems. But hopefully, I haven't got too much more building to do in the area, and it won't affect things much further. Now, this was the other little addition that I was talking about in the live in the speed build section. As you can see, look, we've just got the doors on it, but if we do need more hard shelter, we have that. And like I said, it was more like a quarantine area. I put like a little fake door as if it was going to go there. So I had to change the inside of the building, unfortunately, and so it doesn't really fit as much as I would have liked. But yeah, essentially it's still the same, but for whatever reason we were having problems with the zookeeper getting outside, so I had to change this so that the lions can actually come in here, but then also I've had to take the bloody doors off here, which is really annoying, really annoying, but it's the only way I could get it to work. But I'll find a way around it. I'll maybe make some like fake door that's like been left open. It'll look silly, but it is what it is. It's one of those things, ladies and gents. This is the trouble when you're trying to go for the ultimate level of bloody realism all the time. It just sometimes it'll kick you in the backside. But yeah, I actually think this looks amazing. I really like it. I'm going to show you what it looks like from the different viewpoints. Now, obviously, I've added some stuff on the inside of the cafe. We've added these interactive boards. Yeah, I think they look really tasteful. I think they fit really nice inside the cafe. Obviously, this is the area you would come and look. Now, obviously, we come back down to their level. The glass needs a little bit of work. I think that mechanic. I've just changed all of the bloody working areas, and so all of the staff are finding their feet. They're trying to find where they need to be. But anyway. Yeah, this is the view from down here. So obviously you'll be able to view the animals. You can still see quite a lot, but I really wanted the focal point to be this rock, and that's why I've put like a food tray here. I've put this here. There's the scratching post over here. So a lot of the action, I would imagine, would be over this side, and you've got the scratch post in the middle there. You come and look here. This would be a really cool way to look. I really feel like this canopy added something really cool, and it really worked out just how I wanted. And then yeah, this is pretty nice. The view from here, you will notice as well, I've had to make a few changes. These have had to be changed because the lions climb the wood, and so yeah, they would be able to climb up and get out. So not ideal, ladies and gents, the lions roaming free in the zoo, would it? But yeah, and then if we was to come over to the other side, I will show you what we've done over here. So like I say, I'd run out of time, but I managed to get a lot of the fencing in. I started planting up. I got this lovely little sort of like rocked area with some plants and a nice lion statue at the top, and then yeah, some benches, and then you walk on in, and yeah, this would be the area. Now I plan on changing some of this still. I want to put different flooring in if possible, and also I want to get some stuff up on the wall, like educational stuff. So if you know of any good lion educational stuff that's on the workshop, or you've got some yourself, do let me know. I would love to use it. I've got to move them plants because they've gone through the bloody wall. But yeah, And then you come over here, ladies and gents, and this is how you would look at your lions from this side. And I thought this was really interesting, the way we use the rocks and the plants. And you get a really good view of the lions, obviously, when they're up here eating, when they're climbing all over these rocks and stuff. And it's really, really nice. And I think I did a good job of putting these rocks in and disguising this enough, but not keep closing it off, kind of thing. I wanted you to know there was a building there, but still it to be as natural. And I wanted the fences to be on show as well, because they're a bigger animal, and they're a dangerous animal, and I think the dangerous animals, it really needs to be apparent that they are kind of like locked in here. You are safe. It's all groovy, it's all gravy, and it's all good. Obviously we're going to be putting these wooden fences in where possible to sort of like disguise it, but what I am thinking, where this one here is concerned and this one here, is I might put a staff path down the middle here, so it'd be access for the staff to get to the lions and stuff. And I might put like a fake sort of gate here, and then we might have that road because it will join up to this eventually, and have the road going up there, because I realise there's no easy way to get the lions out should they need to go to like the vets, or you were going to be transporting one off the zoo because it was moving on to pastures new and stuff like that. So I do need to think about that. But that's the lions in, ladies and gents. I really, really hope you like them. When we do our next zoo so far episode, I plan on doing a cinematic episode for that next time, rather than going in and talking the whole way through, and you'll get a proper look at the lions and all of the animals for that matter in that episode. So I hope that I've shown you sort of enough. As you can see, really, really cool enclosure. I think that the size is bang on as well. There's a danger of going too big, but they've actually got a lot of space, way more space than they actually need. If I click on this guy, you'll be able to see that. Look, way more space than they need. So we have the time and the space for a little progression and expansion for the Pride. But let's talk about some of the other stuff that I had mentioned. So the planning and things that I've started to put in place. So this little road here, this is the plan that's been put in place for the chimpanzees. Now, this is where the chimpanzees are going to live. The hard shelter there's going to be glass basically here, and the hard shelter is going to go over the top of the glass and here. I've just got to think of a way of getting the zookeepers in, because I've just got a really unique idea for the hard shelter for the chimps. That's basically going to go in there. And so obviously there's all the little jobs of all of the foliage and whatnot. I kind of toyed with the idea of doing this thing where the red pandas were concerned, in putting an enclosure here and an enclosure here, and having a little walkway bridge over the top. I'm still trying to get to the bottom of that. A lot of people have said, you could use the big gates and just have a staff only path, which seems to be the smartest way of doing it. And I might test it and see if it works, and see if I can disguise those, gates and stuff. But that's the idea. That's still the idea, I should say, where that's concerned. We are going to have a little bit of room here, but it's probably just going to be foliage work that's going to go in there anyway. And then the elephants, obviously, I know they're going to go in eventually, but the plans just completely change all of the time where that's concerned. And so, what I was saying is that I've got so many small jobs to do. If you look at this backlot area, this building's not finished. I put in a veterinary surgery here. We've got one here and one over here now. So I've basically done all of the work zones again. I'll sort of show you what I've been doing with where the work zones are concerned. I've got hubs for absolutely everything to try and make it a bit more efficient, and so we've got veterinary hubs and stuff as well, so that's why I've added that. But basically it's all these little things. Fencing needs to go all the way around, need to get this sort of like seating statue area in over here, need to get all of this planted up, need to get this planted, need to get the path up and around to where that needs to go. This all needs finishing off. This enclosure is actually a bit of a mess and doesn't work very well when it comes to feeding. I lost an animal to starvation, so I've had to sort all of that out. We've still got to finish all of this off, all the planting. We've still got things to do here. So as you can see, just loads of little jobs, more planting. And it's just finding the time to do it, ladies and gents, because obviously one day I want to get Hyland Zoo finished so that I can make it available to you guys on the workshop. I've got to do the car park as well. So what I am thinking, ladies and gents, is scaling back a little bit on my initial idea. Obviously, initially we were going to take this road all the way up. It was going to come all the way down here. We were going to add loads of animals up here. I really don't think that's going to be the case now. My opinion on the whole thing is that maybe we take this path up, we add this exhibit, and rather than it just being zebra and giraffe, I might add a couple of other animals in there as well, and have it as a real big sort of like lush habitat. And I might take the train and have the train do a loop. I might have the train go up and past it, and then down, and then back, and then here. So essentially this road would come up here, and then go down, and then down here. So essentially this area here and this area here would be the only space we've got left to work with. And my thinking behind this is that I could carry on going all the way back, but am I ever going to get all of those little jobs done? And I have ideas for new projects and new builds and new things that I want to do, and I still absolutely love Hyland Zoo, but I feel like with Hyland Zoo we're getting to a point where I really need to finish it. I really need to limit the amount of animals that we have in this zoo, because the initial story was that a benefactor came in and bought up Hyland Park that was near me, and they put a zoo in it. And would they have put a massive zoo in it? I don't think it would have been much bigger than the sort of area that I'm suggesting. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking of doing. Let me know what you think of that. If you still think that there's legs, we've still got a lot of legs in this, and you wouldn't mind me going up and down rather than seeing a new project, then that's cool. I will take all of your suggestions on board, but that's just kind of what I'm thinking at the moment. So the way things are at the minute, chimpanzees are going to go here. Potentially red pandas are going to go in here, if not both sides. But if I can't work that out, they're going to go in this space here. That's where the red pandas are going to go, which would then leave this area here. So, ideas on a postcard for that area. The elephants are going to go in here. So then, yeah, we've got the giraffe and the multi sort of exhibit there. And then we've got a bit of space here, which I'm actually thinking we could put the hyenas, but then would the hyenas be too close to these animals that it would cause a problem? Someone did mention, the cheetahs. I was going to do this as a big cat house, and someone said, no, you can't put the cheetahs next to the lions, because cheetahs don't like the smell of the lions, and they are too scared of them. They wouldn't settle, so the cheetahs have to be far away. Something I learned, because I didn't realise that. I knew that they were scared of them, and they were obviously conflict in the wild and stuff, but I didn't realise it would have such an effect in a zoo. So yeah, the hyenas potentially there, and then obviously it does still leave some area for some African animals should we want to, but this area up here, I'm thinking either potentially tiger or orangutan. At the end of the day, we don't have to do every single animal in this zoo. If we can save some animals, it leaves for fresh projects the next zoo that we do. Rather than going in the next zoo and jumping straight in with a lion enclosure, we could jump in and do like a grizzly bear, or we could do a bison, or an animal that we're not going to do in this zoo. And obviously we've got the new DLC coming as well, so that would be quite interesting to do in a new project. So that's all I'm thinking, is that I don't potentially want to put every single animal in this zoo and then leave nothing new for a new project. So yeah, just let me know, basically, ladies and gents, what you make of that, what you think of it, and yeah, we'll crack on with some more Hyland Zoo very, very soon, I am sure. But I'm just going to leave you with an image of the lion enclosure as we head on out of today's episode. And yeah, I'm going to leave it on play so you can watch these beautiful animals roam about their habitat, my friends. So yeah, you got a lot of stuff to think about there, a lot of stuff to get commenting on from both the speed build and the live section. I'll look forward to reading all your comments. I really hope you've enjoyed the build, hope you've enjoyed this episode of Hyland Zoo. If you're new to the channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button. If you've enjoyed today's episode, hit the like, hit the bell notification button to never miss an episode. And if you want all my socials and the Discord, you can find it all in the description box below. I suggest you really follow my Discord, because that's going to help you where the new series is concerned, my friends. But until next time, you make sure you're staying extra, and I'll see you real soon.